Year one had its ups and downs for Luke Fickell at Wisconsin. After all, new coordinators. But it is, after all, Badger Ball. And we're in Camp Randall. Familiarity does breed contempt. Key returnees and some newbies on this roster. It's the Badgers in their opener in 2024 on FS1. It was an original POW camp for the Confederacy in the Civil War. It's now one of the venerable buildings of college football. Camp Randall, the pomp, the pageantry, it's all here. Big Ten football, a Friday night lights ready to go. Western Michigan in to take on Wisconsin. We're live. Hi everyone, Tim Brando, the old number 98 from Michigan. Devin Gardner is by my side. And Devin, listen, when you think about Wisconsin's schedule this year, it does get a little dicey early. Alabama comes a calling in a couple of weeks on Big Noon, which means head coach Luke Fickell wants to speed things up, find out more about this team of newbies with yet another high-profile transfer quarterback.
Yeah, Tyler Van Dyke comes in from Miami. And imagine this. Transferring to a program and you're learning your fourth offense. If that's me, I would love an opportunity to lean into a run game, a talented run game, so that I can get myself into the offense. I like to call it quickness and the boom. And let's start with quickness. A lot of Wisconsin fans, they remember this name, Chez Malusi, a player who is a home run threat. He's a guy that is super explosive down the field. He got hurt a year ago, but he's back and he's 100% ready to play today. And then there's the boom. Tyree Walker, he comes from OU, and watching his film, he's built low to the ground, and he's extremely explosive and powerful. And I'm telling you, he can catch passes out the backfield like you'll see here, and then there's the boom, where he's going to run over guys on that field today. I'm just telling you, Wisconsin's fans are going to really love seeing this young man run the football.
You know, for a young guy, you do a pretty good John Madden. I like that.
Boom!
That's pretty good. The folks from Kalamazoo have no fear. They have a second-year coach. You're going to hear all about Western Michigan from our Josh Sims when we return. It is Big Ten football on Friday night. Get used to it on the Fox family of networks. We'll be back. Look at this weather. Chamber of Commerce, and we haven't even gotten to September. 70 degrees, virtually no humidity. Wind at 3 miles per hour. And Josh Sims has the news on the guys from Kalamazoo.
Well, Tim, what a difference a year makes for second-year Western Michigan head coach Lance Taylor. Admittedly, the first year was a bit of a learning curve, but he told us they were building a foundation, and this year they are ready to take the next step. Now, for this program, the important thing to notice is that they have a ton of veterans returning. On the offensive side of the ball, they have an 1,000-yard rusher in Jalen Buckley and a quarterback in Hayden Wolf that has solidified this offense. And with that returning, Lance Taylor is confident that they can make the strides. The biggest thing with this team, they are bigger, they are faster, and they are stronger. Most importantly, they understand the system that Lance Taylor wants to run.
Wisconsin won the toss, deferred, so Western Michigan will receive. Gavin Lom will handle the kickoff chores tonight. Jaden Nixon, number 3, is in single safety. Another capacity crowd at Camp Randall. Toe meets leather, and we're underway. And we'll start with a touchback. And at the 25-yard line, that's where Hayden Wolf will take over. And partner, you were talking about 4 different coordinators.
Oh, yeah.
How about 7? That's where we are with Hayden Wolf.
Tyler, I
7.
see your 4, and I raise you 7 different offensives learned. But when we talked to him yesterday, he made it very clear that he has a good grasp of this offense, a lot better than he did a year ago with a new coordinator, and probably the best he's had since his days at Old Dominion.
By the way, at Old Dominion, he came away with a very big win for what is a group of 5 school at that time. At Mississippi State played enormously well in the game that they had a year ago in his 8 starts. That's Jalen Buckley, who is a big-time runner. They'll use him between the tackles a lot. And he gets out in front for 2 yards on first down, so it'll be 2nd down and 8. Buckley is wearing the jersey number 6. For those of you that might have been used to him wearing 29, it is game 1, so a few new jerseys have been made available. Players always want to get the right number for a new year. Sophomore from Aurora, Illinois. That one is going to go incomplete. And this is a Wisconsin defense that can really move well sideline to sideline now. They've really improved their linebacking core where quickness is concerned.
Yeah, and it's led by Jake Chaney, a guy who last year came on strong at the end of the year, and he really improved the overall defensive speed of Wisconsin. That's something to look for today. That sideline to sideline speed at the linebacker position, they've gotten a lot more length and athleticism at that position.
This is a solid offensive front. Cushy, Murphy, Gideon, and West. Addison West and Jacob Gideon are 2 outstanding offensive linemen. Wolf is going to have to tuck it and run on 3rd down, and he is stuck by Jaheim Thomas. You talk about a beast. The redshirt senior from Cincinnati, Ohio, and it's 4th down and 7, a punt formation coming up for the Broncos.
On cue, one of those dynamic, lengthy linebackers finds a way to see the quarterback and then close the gap as quick as possible. Outside in, a perfect form tackle on the sideline. If you're the quarterback, Hayden Wolf, you do not want to take those kind of hits. The play's over, step out of bounds, punt the ball away.
Vinny Anthony is the single safety. Ryan Milmore, a redshirt freshman, to boot it away, and that one will bounce. Fair catch was called, and look at that healthy roll. So a lot of yardage on that in the aftermath of it, on what was a kick that he could not field. Milmore will certainly take the stats on that one. 53 yards the boot. And here come the Badgers with Tyler Van Dyke. His numbers were really good in that initial year, but then he got banged up. And I think overcoming those injuries and getting healthy again was something that Luke Fickell needed to see. And his offensive coordinator, Phil Longo, had him on his radar since Phil was working for Mack Brown at North Carolina, and Van Dyke was playing against him while a Miami Hurricane. Tawee Walker is the setback out of the shotgun on 1st down. Great penetration that time by Ontario Thompson, number 11. Strong work by the defensive tackle, a gain of only a yard, 2nd and 9.
One thing that was very interesting when we talked to offensive coordinator Phil Longo as well as Tyler Van Dyke is he's run a lot more than he's ever had to, and it's because they're finally asking him to do it.
He's always been confident, he told us. That little swing pass to Walker is good. And he'll be about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Out to the 27, Jacob Wahlberg makes the stop. Purdue transfer.
That looks pretty familiar, doesn't it, Tim? Looks like the play from the open, right, where he catches it outside, lowers his pads. I'm just telling you, he's not a joy to tackle.
Walker again going over the left side for the 1st down. Out to the 32, maybe the 33. Take a look at the Badgers up front. Nelson, Brunner, Renfro the center, Huber and Riley Mallman the right tackle. And then you look at the running backs. Malusi, of course, will play along with Walker. Green, Anthony, and Pauling the wide receivers. Look for Pauling on those little short curls and slant patterns. Underneath, they dump it off to Walker again, and he burrows down at the 35-yard line. Nice stick in a man-to-man situation by Damari Roberson, a young man you're going to be hearing a lot about, the Sam linebacker who has had some journey in his career.
Take a look at Tyler Van Dyke. Early in this game, he has a great grasp of what he wants to do. It's not open downfield. Finally, your check down. He gets it to him quickly, and now you can get a positive play rather than holding the ball and taking a sack.
Ball at the 35. 2nd down and 7 after the gain of 3. Walker and Malusi now. The setbacks. And they go with Cade Giacomelli also in the game. I believe that might have been Giacomelli that joined them in the backfield.
How about that, Tim? That's old school, right? Almost,
sure was.
It's like an inverted wishbone they got into just then.
Absolutely. So a little bit of a wrinkle there from Phil Longo. 3rd down and 4. Malusi stays in the game. And Giacomelli is with him, number 25 in red.
And they assured us that Giacomelli has improved so much that he will get reps with these two talented runners.
He's a fire plug. 3rd down and 4. Van Dyke. Again, they flood that zone, go to the field side. Will be about a yard shy of the 1st down. Naquan Washington, number 13, the cornerback, with a nice play against Malusi. Up to the 43.
It's a nice job of Van Dyke getting the ball out quickly and allowing Malusi to do something with it. But how about the open field tackle by the young fella, number 13 in white, Naquan Washington? Very good job. I'm just telling you, it's not an easy task to try to get Malusi on the ground when it's just you and him.
Well, the analytics say go for it in Phil Longo's world, and it's 4th and a yard. Here we go. Walker, the setback. And he'll take it right over that left tackle spot again, following Nelson. Bilal Kone, number 1 cornerback, 6'2" redshirt senior out of Apple Valley, Minnesota, with a stop.
The Western Michigan defense is kind of standing that base cover 3 look, and Phil Longo, I'm telling you, he's going to at some point get the ball out quickly to his wide receivers on the outside on those quick hitch routes to make sure that those corners have to hug up on those wide receivers.
He knows he's got great running backs. They run the ball a lot more than most air raid offenses might run, but he certainly did and always has been a protege of the mad scientist, the late, great Mike Leach. And Kone once again makes the play, this time on Van Dyke, who chose to keep it. Gain of 5, and he pierces Broncos territory into the 49-yard line.
Was that the prettiest run on earth? Absolutely not, right? But you get 5 yards on first down. You have everything available to you here on 2nd down.
Little pump fake. That's the guy we were talking about. He dropped it, though. That is a rare drop by Will Pauling. He'll be out before the game, taking more passes than anybody on the field. And that time the ball climbed on him a little.
It's a nice job just trying to pump that swing route that you've completed a few times, and that's why Pauling uncovers so wide open. That's not a play that he's going to make. He's going to catch that ball more times than not. As a wide receiver, you would love to have that ball up on your face mask when you're wide open, right? You're not really truly prepared to try to get down, but Pauling is such a good player, he has to make that play.
Yeah, 8 catches for 143 yards against LSU in the bowl game. There he is. That time Bryson Green, number 9, the receiving end. Senior from Allen, Texas, with a 10-yard gain and another 1st down.
This is a very nice job by Green getting through the defense and then find his way into the middle of the cavity. And
Walker this time tries the right side. Let's go back to that play a moment ago.
Pauling's going to come into Pauling's going to slide to the right, and then you get Green into your screen. That's a very nice job because they've run the ball well. They've had positive runs. Now you can get to that play action or that RPO that Phil Longo loves to do.
Ches Malusi checks back in. 2nd down and 4 after the gain of 6. Playing quickly, but 12 plays already on this drive. Oh, a little RPO maneuver. And it's the tight end, Tucker Ashcraft. You'll see Nowakowski 37 and Ashcraft 38. 2 of the 4 tight ends that they'll use. That's a pickup of 14.
I just love it because the threat of Tyler Van Dyke running is allowing these plays to be made. He gets on the outside, he throws a nice, easy 5-yard pass. So now he's seeing completion. So when he wants to start throwing the ball down the field, he'll already be comfortable knowing that his guys have made some catches.
Looked like he had the Broncos secondary thinking he might run it.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, he did decide to throw it away there. Over the middle, and that is incomplete. Airmailed that one just a little. Looked like he was throwing in the general area.
So Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator, gives these guys options, right? If you see a guy high, you can stop and sit it down. Pauling, if you see him underneath, you can go past him. Pauling sits it down, and Van Dyke thinks that he's going past him because he's low. And I think that Van Dyke's right in that situation.
Miscommunication, clearly, by Pauling. It was in the general area of him. Malusi. Boy, that's great convergence by that second level of the defense. Donald Willis, 15, the Will linebacker, making the stop. He tied the team in league sacks in the MAC a year ago with 4.5. Gain of only a yard. It's 3rd and long here for Wisconsin. They converted a 4th down earlier in the drive. Last year, they converted 44.2% of their thirds, which was best in the Big Ten, but only 27th best in the country. They're 2 out of 3 so far in this game. On this drive alone. Trips to the bottom of your screen. Van Dyke underneath. Boy, a great hit yet again as they go underneath. Malusi, and what a pop from Willis. 15, Donald Willis all over him. He and Roberson at those two linebacker spots have been noticed by this Wisconsin receiving corps.
I love how violent he's playing, right? Okay, the ball's been caught, but it's not caught until you finish the catch. He gets in and knocks that ball out with a nice club with the right hand and finishes the play.
Nathaniel Vakos for the field goal try. Be a 36-yarder out of the hold of Gavin Myers. Did he push it? Oh, he did. No good. Boy, a 16-play drive, but they come up with nada, senor. The Broncos get it done. Oh.
Got to check the technique.
Don't sweat the technique.
So a long drive, partner, ends with nothing for Wisconsin. And the second series now coming up for Western Michigan. Van Dyke looked awfully good. Got him down there. Used his legs some. His arm quite a bit. Mostly with passes underneath. And there goes Jalen Buckley again. He's a big-time back. Mike Dressel, the defensive coordinator, wasted no time letting us know that he was impressed with the backs that the Broncos have. And you can see why after that beautiful run on first down by Buckley.
Take a look at number 7, Jaheim Thomas, right? He jumps outside and misses his fit, and a very nice job by Buckley sticking that right foot in the ground and getting underneath and picking up nice yardage.
So after the gain of 9, they got one to play with here on 2nd and 1. Right back to Buckley for the first down. Up to the 35-yard line. Leon Lowry made the stop. The Broncos head coach, love this guy, Lance Taylor, was a walk-on at Alabama and then became a graduate assistant at Alabama. And there you see Jalen Buckley's numbers, and they were tremendous. And they're going to give him the ball, the lion's share of this game. You can bet on that. Look at that. That's just great instinct. Cutting it right back up. And he's only 2 yards shy. You get 9 yards on first down and then 8 yards on first down. That's not bad.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job. You can see they're leaning into him. Like you saw with his stats, he was dynamic a year ago, and he didn't even play the entire season. And when we asked, how many touches do you want to get to him, it was kind of like a smirk on Coach's face. He said, as many as we can without getting him hurt.
Zahir Abdus Salam. Call him Oldie. That's his nickname. And he'll take it. Nice work by him there. Lance Taylor, I mentioned, listen to this. Not only was he a walk-on at Alabama, but his father, James, was a running back for Bear Bryant. And I know his dad, now 72 years young, is awfully proud of him. Sylvester Croom was the center on that team, the first African-American player in the history of Alabama. And, of course, this young man right here, a Native American who made his way up and did it the old-fashioned way. He earned it from the GA spot all the way up the ladder through the NFL and back as an assistant. This is his first time as a head coach. Jaden Nixon gets it out for a couple yards to the 48-yard line. Jaheim Thomas comes in there to make the stop. In our conversation with him, I got to tell you, he reminded me a lot of Ryan Walters, the head coach of Purdue.
Intense is what I came away with.
Very
right? Intense and actually knows his plan. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and he self-evaluates.
A little later, we'll show you an example of that intensity in his pregame. Chris Tootle, one of the tight ends, he along with Blake Bosma and Caden Morris will all get playing time at tight end. It'll be 3rd down and 6 after a gain of 2. So this is the first 3rd down and long that they faced on this quick drive.
You can see kind of a line change for that defensive line of Wisconsin, bringing in guys to make sure they get after the quarterback, expecting that this will be a pass down.
Out of the shotgun, he's got Oldie, they call him, back there with him. 3-step drop, he fires it incomplete. And again, it looked like miscommunication on that route. Malik Dudon was the intended receiver, it appeared. but he stopped his route. And Wolf had something else in mind. They'll have to punt it away.
When we talked to the Wisconsin defensive staff yesterday, they said they thought they would be able to create pressure without bringing blitzers. Well, on that play, they didn't create pressure, and Hayden Wolf thought that he didn't have enough time, so he couldn't read it out. He anticipates rather than waiting to see what his receiver does, and the ball is outside.
Milmore will punt it away, his second of the night. The first one went for 53 yards. Benny Anthony in single safety at his 10. Well, this is a booming punt. And it takes a Mac Daddy drop, like a 60-degree lob wedge, baby. Inside the 10 at the 7. Nice job, young man. You're going to hear from Lance Taylor when we come back.
You were made to do this tonight. We set our legacy and show everybody what the Broncos standard's about. It's not about what you want, it's about what you're willing to do to get it. Let's give everything we got for 60 minutes. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Let's get it. 8 on me, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, as a player, coming out of that, as a player, when your coach veins popping out of his neck, he's turning red. That's what you want to see, and now you're jacked up and ready to go. And you can see that speech worked because they've come out and they are not afraid of the big bad wolf that is Wisconsin.
Yeah, and a little bit more on Western Michigan. They defeated Wisconsin here in '88. They have lost 5 straight non-conference road games, but 3 players are already designated for the East-West Shrine Bowl 1,000 watch list. So they got talent, and as is oftentimes the case with transfer players, a new coaching staff, he's got a new offensive coordinator that he had never met. He heard about him. He called up Walt Bell, and then he also got Scott Power away from Louisiana Tech to run his defense. Everything is in fast motion in college football today. When you have that much changeover, not just with personnel, but also with your coaching staff, you got to really have tremendous work ethic, and he does. Malusi breaks free. Second and third effort nets him the 15-yard line, just a couple of yards shy of the first down. Isaiah Green, number 10, the junior from St. Cloud, Minnesota, with the stop. Playing quickly at 2nd and 2. Little hitch. Well covered, Bryson Green, the intended receiver. So 3rd down and 2 coming up.
Those are the routes that I said that would be available because of how they played in the previous drive, right? That retreat coverage. There, number 1 in white, Bilal Kone does a great job of sticking that foot in the ground and racing to make sure that has to be a bad throw. Nice job of Tyler Van Dyke, who essentially threw that ball away.
Yeah, he was in press coverage and was all over him. 3rd down 2. 2 wideouts split to the top of your screen. Double tight end look out of the gun with Malusi. Nice bounce out, but he ran right into a stone Bronco wall. Isaiah Green and Boone Bonema, 22 and 10, collaborate. And they're going to say he did get the first down before being pushed back. So 1st down, Badgers.
He did get the first down, but not by a bunch. This Western Michigan front is doing a nice job of not allowing the offensive line of Wisconsin to create a new line of scrimmage. When you have those short yardage opportunities, an offensive line has to create a new line of scrimmage down the field. They can't do it, and Western Michigan almost gets a stop.
Yacomelli has come back into the game. 25 out of the shotgun yet again. Play fake over the middle on the slant. It's caught out to the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Pauling with the catch for the first down, a gain of 10.
It's a nice job by Tyler Van Dyke getting that ball in the middle in the teeth of this Western Michigan defense because they're committing to the run. And when you go to that RPO and they commit to the run, you'll have guys right behind those linebackers.
Yeah, you keep thinking they're setting up something deep sooner or later. And again, on that slant, they go to the tight end, Nowakowski, 37, senior out of Milwaukee, picks up 9, and it's 2nd down and a yard to go.
It's a really nice job. Those swing routes are pulling those linebackers and safeties outside, but keep an eye on number 3, Tate Hollock. He's doing an outstanding job of trying to eye the number 3 receiver in a trip formation. When he comes across that screen, Tyler Van Dyke has to know where he is so he doesn't get baited into an interception.
Yacomelli. Cade Yacomelli. That's a throwback name, isn't it? Out to the 48-yard line. Here at a program that once had an Alan Amici win a Heisman Trophy, got a Yacamelli toting the rock.
I mean, I just really love his story. They said he's probably the second most improved player on the entire team, and that's why he's getting these reps. You've got talented runners like Chez Mellusi and Tyree Walker, and he's finding a way to get into the mix.
Out of the backfield, Pauling, who was in the slot, came away with the catch, and he was greeted immediately. Armani Eli Adams making the stop, the graduate senior from St. Petersburg.
Take a look at Armani Davis come out of the middle of the field as a safety, and then bang! Right there, stops him, and then allows the rest of his teammates to come. Very nice job of open field tackling yet again.
2nd and 9, again out of the gun, and they go quickly. Beautiful curl by Green. Got enough for the first down to the 40. Move the chains again. Kone with a stop. And we come to the end of the quarter. Quickly played. A long drive, a 16-play one that led to no points on the missed field goal try. And the Broncos had a decent drive to swing the field position their way. Wisconsin's got it in a scoreless tie through 1 at Camp Randall. Ready to go with the second quarter here at Camp Randall Stadium, along with Josh Sims down along the sidelines and somewhere inside this venerable building known as Camp Randall. And Devin Gardner. This is Tim Brando. Happy to have you with us. Out of the shotgun, we open with Chez Mellusi. Mellusi carries it inside the 35-yard line. And that'll set up 2nd and 5. Statistically, we'll show you what happened in the first quarter, but it's weighted in Wisconsin's favor, but we both agree the Broncos have acquitted themselves very nicely so far. That pass in and out of the hands of C.J. Williams, the USC transfer.
And C.J. Williams is a guy that they were looking to see. Can he be a real contributor? Is he a guy that they can depend on? You got to make those types of catches, especially when the ball is there right in your hands. You can see Tyler Van Dyke pull that ball out of Mellusi's belly, and that ball is right outside, exactly where you want it. You've got to make that catch.
3rd down and 5. Van Dyke calls his own number and has the first down, it would appear. Right on the number at the 30. Could be inches away. Looked like the line to gain might be just past the 30-yard line, so it could be just a little shy. We'll wait and see. They haven't moved the sticks as yet.
Yeah, that ball came out.
That
ball came out late, and they're going to rule that he was down and for a first down.
Yeah.
Yep, clearly hit the ground. Then it starts to roll out now. A guy that's not always a runner, you got to protect the ball.
Mellusi. Boy, look at that stick. But he stays with it. Those legs keep on churning. Donald Willis coming in there, a gain of 3, but credit Mellusi, boy. He is elusive without a doubt.
I said he was 100% ready, and this is a nice job by Willis, number 15 in white, of forming him up. But Mellusi has just got power in his legs, similar to Tyree Walker. He finds a way to keep driving his legs, spin off, and to go create a positive play.
Jackson Akers coming to the game. Number 34. Well, they've got a bevy of backs that they'll use. And Western Michigan is going to use a timeout. These long drives, the defense has been tough, but it's probably been draining. Maybe a little gassed, even though it's early. Quick TO taken. Tomorrow, big noon Saturday kicks off a huge opener. 8th-ranked Penn State. I think they're going to be in a world of hurt in West by God, Virginia. Look out. Big noon kickoff. The entire crew coming to you live from Morgantown. Don't miss the most watched game window in college football beginning tomorrow. Gus and Joel and Jenny Taft right here on Fox. Penn State, West Virginia, and of course UTEP and Nebraska. Our friends Jason Benetti and Brock Heward double dipping. They were in Minnesota last night for that stem winder with North Carolina. Devin, you're going to show us some personnel here, aren't you?
Yeah, Wisconsin has found some success in what we call 12 personnel. That's one running back, and 2 tight ends. So what Western Michigan on defense has to do, they have to put more guys in the box, bigger guys, and so it allows for man-to-man coverage on the outside. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point Tyler Van Dyke drops back and attacks that man coverage down the field.
Keep an eye on Tretch Kakahuna, number 2. The redshirt freshman is coming to the game, young man from Honolulu, Hawaii. They're very high on the ceiling that he might have. 2nd and 7 after the timeout. Van Dyke on a little bootleg action. Almost has the first down. He'll be a yard shy. Halleck, number 3. We've touched on him quite often, the Michigan State transfer with the stop.
Western Michigan calls a TE, tackle in stunt at the wrong time. The tackle comes around, and he's looking for the ball. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Where he's going down the field, Tyler Van Dyke is, and a nice hit by number 3 in white, Tate Halleck, coming out of the middle of the field.
Well,
this new wrinkle.
Yeah, Phil Longo told us that Van Dyke's got some deceptive quickness and speed, and it was evidenced right there. Out of the shotgun now on 3rd and short. First down, Malusi twisting and turning to the 19-yard line.
We didn't see the Wisconsin offensive line create a new line of scrimmage early in that first quarter. Well, they found a way to do it now with this new 12 personnel, 1 back, 2 tight ends. They've got all those big fellas moving the line of scrimmage, and it allows for you to pick up those short yardage situations.
On 2 drives, they've had the ball for 30 plays.
My goodness.
Now, this is the 15th play of this drive. The one in the first quarter that ended with a missed field goal was a 16-play drive.
Phil Longo's making a point to the fan base. We run the football.
Yeah, oh yeah. In keeping with the history and tradition.
Oh yeah.
On Wisconsin
Looks a little different. Looks a little different.
Ball is tipped into the air. Great work and tremendous penetration by that defense of the Broncos. Take a look as it comes in with that pressure.
It's a very nice job by Jacob Wahlberg, no relation, coming in and putting his helmet right between the chest plate of Tyler Van Dyke as he tries to execute a pass out of empty formation. If you're Tyler Van Dyke, you have to know, where are you hot from? I have to get this ball out quickly, and a nice job using your head, if you will, for the defensive line.
Rodney definitely used his head on that one. It was blocked by my blocking head.
Yeah, and he had Pauling behind him, right? So that's a nice job by Van Dyke, understanding where he's hot from and getting the ball to the right guy, but it was a head in the way.
I think we may be looking for a possible targeting call here.
Yeah, that's
because he got him in the chin strap.
For sure.
Yep.
I'm going to stand on that absolutely right now. He puts his head down, and then he hits him right in the chin. And you have to ask, is the quarterback defenseless? He is in the pocket, and I think Mike Pereira is going to agree with me. What do you got, Mike?
Devin, I have taught you well. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir.
I mean, this is classic when you lead to the defenseless player, so it doesn't have to be the crown of the helmet. It's any forcible contact to the helmet, head, or neck area of the quarterback, and although not called on the field, the right thing by the replay center to stop it. And I would put my marbles on the fact that that young man's going to be ejected.
Well, Mike, to Devin's credit, he's coachable. I know rumor has it maybe I was a little more steadfast.
A little more sturdy, maybe.
Yeah, hard-headed, so to speak. But Wahlberg is a guy that they really need.
Yeah.
This is an outstanding.
He's done a nice job of setting the edge today.
After review, number 8 on Western Michigan committed targeting by hitting the quarterback in the head is a defenseless player. Half the distance to the goal, first and goal. Number 8 is disqualified.
I'm going to credit maybe first game excitement and energy there. It was to the crown of the head. And think about it. Wahlberg is a guy that is a green dot carrier. He's calling defenses, so they lose him. That's the guy with the communication with his defensive coach, Scott Power. Now Dominic Moon, 47, will come in, will now be wearing that helmet with the green dot in the back for communication.
That has to be called on the field. I mean, I wanted to say that and rip the official, not rip the official, but I want.
Malusi on a fake, and that pass is incomplete. Well, looking to find Pauling in the corner of the end zone. That was a wonderful play fake to Malusi. And Armani Eli Adams, number 30 in coverage, did a nice job. The ball was thrown where it had to be. And make sure that, because there was a lot of coverage over there, Van Dyke was wise to keep that pass low, and it falls incomplete.
I love what Phil Longo is doing, leaning into what Tyler Van Dyke can do with his legs, getting him on the edge and creating opportunities for him to run or pass. They just have to work out some of the kinks and make some of the plays that are out there.
And you can see how despondent Wahlberg is over there. Malusi! Malusi! Touchdown!
Take a look at number 71, Riley Maulman. He's a big fella, going to come around the edge, and he is going to maul a man and clear it out for Chez Malusi, and the rest is all on him. He finds a way to get in the end zone. I told you, he's 100% ready to go, and he stretches for a touchdown.
Josh Franklin, the cornerback, made contact but didn't wrap him up. That is Malusi's 18th career touchdown. Becos with the extra point. 2 long drives. One ended with nothing. This one, pay dirt. Chez can get it done, just like he did in the opener against Buffalo a year ago. Look at Maulman, the big ugly. He's a happy fella too. How's that for a lengthy drive? 93 yards, 16 plays. Malusi caps it off, and with more on Chez, here's Josh.
Well, I spoke with Chez Malusi this week about his injury-riddled past, 2 season-ending injuries in the last 3 seasons, but he told me at no point did he ever consider giving up on football. He said, those are the moments that build character. He said, why it happened to me, that was something I considered many nights, but at the same time, it motivated me. It is part of my journey, and you see it out there, it's motivating him. First touchdown of the day goes to Chez Malusi.
You know, Josh, it was a game that we had at Purdue a year ago, week 4 of the season when they lost Chez, and he was just rounding into shape.
Yeah.
Of course, Braylon Allen was on that team at the time, so that was part of the 1-2 punch. Here's the kick. Nixon is back deep, and he'll bring it from the 2. Jaden Nixon stopped at the 21. Magnificent nice in Madison. Oh boy, is it ever beautiful. How about that? Fantastic state capitol. The last time these two met was back in the 2016 Cotton Bowl. They were rowing the boat in Kalamazoo. PJ was the head coach of Western Michigan. Wisconsin did win it 24-16. But it was well earned against a fine club at that time. And, you know, the MAC, one thing about that league, there is no fear. And it's just a great test every time they play a Big Ten game. You look at those numbers, and it's been all Wisconsin on the ground and pound, 2 long drives. And really, it's not as if Western Michigan's played poorly. There's Jake Nixon taking it out for about a 5-yard gain. They just have not had many chances to possess the ball.
Yeah, and the one drive they did have, they found success in the run game, not so much with Nixon, but with Jalen Buckley. He did a very nice job of getting behind those big offensive linemen, and they did a nice job of moving the Wisconsin front back so that he can find his way through. But when the drive ends, you give the ball back to Wisconsin, and they go on a 16-play drive. It's tough to live with.
A gain of 4, 2nd and 6. That makes it certainly a lot more manageable for them. And it looks like we're going to have a timeout taken here. Some confusion. And Lance Taylor decides to take the timeout with 11:04 remaining. One thing I wanted to mention about the season and what's going on with these quarterbacks. Wolf with his 7th different offensive coordinator, and of course Van Dyke with his 4th. Consider this for a moment, okay? 43 of the 68 projected starting quarterbacks in the Power 4 conferences are transfers. That's 63%. 30 of those 43 quarterbacks are first-year transfers, Van Dyke being one of them. And that just tells you where the game is going and how the job of being a head coach and really being a coordinator is so much different now than it was a handful of years ago.
I mean, it's almost a race to see who can get more comfortable quicker. right? Who can get more comfortable and really understand the system, understand your quarterback, understand what he likes, what he doesn't like, so that you can play fast and play effectively.
It's a real perk to have a returning starting quarterback in college football this day and time. There's Nixon. Well, he waited on that pass beautifully, didn't he? The pass was thrown a little behind him. He waited it, he cradled it, and got out for the first down. So, a first down pass, not a bad idea for Walt Bell, the offensive coordinator who's calling the plays for them.
It's a nice job. It's just power pass right outside, and I love the placement of that ball from Hayden Wolf. You throw it on that back hip, so now he can turn up. I'm just telling you, I've seen running backs over and over again catch the ball and run straight out of bounds because they just don't know how fast they're running and they don't know where they are on the field. Nice job by Wolf and a nice job by Nixon.
Only his second completion of the game. Walt Bell, interesting story about him. He gets the job as coordinator. Hayden Wolf, one of the very few returning players from a season ago. It started 8 games. And he's coming in to get some stuff in his locker room. And
no keys.
Yeah, no keys. He can't get in. And he sees this guy, and he says, well, hi. And he says, well, who are you? He says, well, I'm the new offensive coordinator. And he says, well, I'm your quarterback.
You're right. I'll let you in.
I'll let you in. Here are the keys.
Right.
Now make sure you give me some good plays.
A little symbolic there, huh?
Yeah, indeed. 2nd and 9. Nice play, and it's wide open. It could break for Buckley. Boy, that's a well-timed call by Walt Bell. Hunter Wohler, the outstanding strong safety, runs him down. That's a 24-yard gain. Biggest play from scrimmage so far tonight.
Watch number 14, Preston Zachman. He's going to come off the edge, and usually you need to peel off and cover this guy. He doesn't. He can't get to him, and a nice job of recognition by Hayden Wolf finding Buckley out of the backfield.
Well, a little mojo here for the guys from Kalamazoo. Come with an extra tight end. We're seeing a lot of 11 and 12 personnel looks here. Buckley the setback. And he'll take it. Burrows ahead to the 34-yard line. Allegro, number 28, with a stop. Fantastic scenery here, huh? Don't you just love it?
Oh, yeah.
Wait till the third quarter and we get to jump around.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh, by the way, for the very first time, for the entire capacity crowd, alcohol is being sold.
Is that right?
Here in Wisconsin. Yes, they used to have it for those in the expensive seats, but now they're available for all the seats.
Gonna be rowdy.
Out of the gun, Wolf. Corner route, incomplete. Outstanding coverage by Wohler again. That was Devon Bugs Mortimer, the junior from Fort Lauderdale, number 1, the intended receiver. First time he's been targeted tonight.
That's impressive by Wohler, a veteran player understanding that he is in college football and not the NFL. So you can be a little more handsy. There's no illegal contact downfield. He gets tight to the hip of Mortimer and finds a way to make sure he puts that hand over the top to stop the completion.
Had the most tackles in a single season for the Badgers since 1991, a year ago, with 123.
Tackling machine.
3rd down and 7. Wolf flushes it out to Mortimer. Look out. Those quick feet of his. I see now why they call him Bugs. He'll bug you. That's a first down. Drive continues after a gain of 8.
It's a nice job by Mortimer. Find a way to break this tackle. You have to pick those feet up because you have to continue this drive. You may not get the ball back for a long time. He does a nice job there and finds a way to get the first down. And there is Womack, the talented wide receiver, number 9 in white. You see that cast on his left hand.
Parker bringing it the other way on the sweep action. By the way, Kenneth Womack, top receiver on this team, a big-time dude. We were really looking forward to seeing him. He's hoping to be back from that hand injury in a couple of weeks.
And you can see him telling, number 1, Mortimer, who's a new guy, hey, this is how it works. This is how you're going to do it, because he's essentially playing that position that Womack would usually be playing. That'd be a ball that he would catch, and he would try to break a tackle and get down the field.
2nd and 5. Nixon and Abdus Salam in the backfield. And Abdus Salam carries the mail and gets it inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. They're just matriculating the ball down the field, aren't they? Jake Chaney with the stop.
Yeah, they're going to that right side with the center, Jacob Gideon and Addison West, and the coaching staff said Gideon is going to be a pro, and Addison West has a chance as well. They do a nice job of just reach blocking. They said that they want to get to that wide zone, right? And what they mean by that is all the offensive linemen, either left or right, they reach to the right gap, and they try to just cover up those defensive linemen and allow the running back to pick his gap, and they're doing a nice job of it right now.
Abdul Salam gets about a yard, maybe two. Between those two guards that we were discussing, with the center and the guard, Gideon, the Bash brothers, Gideon and Addison West, 59 consecutive starts between those two. 35 for the center, 24 for the guard.
And they work so well together on film. Sometimes they get into those double teams and they don't even want to leave, right? It's like they want to hang out a little longer, but sometimes you got to get to that linebacker, and they're doing a good job of that today.
Look out. Beautiful setup, and it's caught by Bosma, the tight end. He's very close to the first down, just shy of the 5. And the line to make is right there. He had a bobble here, was able to reel it in.
It's a nice job of him of being patient. 1,000, 2,000, making sure he stays on that block, make sure they think it's a run, and then you get out and he's scot-free and able to catch it two or three. What? How many times did he catch it?
Well, he lost it on his way as he was trying to put the ball down. I think he would have had the first down.
So in the stats, does he get 2? Does he get 1?
Well, if it were me that were catching it, yes, it would be 2. Third down and a long one here. Buckley! Boy, he is inches away from the end zone. How about this for an answer from the Broncos? Huh? How about this?
When you want to get in the end zone, who do you go behind? Gideon, West. You can see them moving guys out of the way along with the tight end group, and he almost powers his way into the end zone, but Jake Chaney, the big fella, number 1 in red, was having none of it.
They're inside the 1-yard line. And they spread the formation a bit. Let's see which way they go. Buckley is the setback. Wisconsin was ready. The formation did not fool him at all. Jaheim Thomas and Jake Chaney stayed right where they needed to be.
Chaney again making sure that he gets over the top. You can see him, the middle linebacker right there, and he's going to get some help from number 7 in red as well. Jaheim Thomas, a nice job of those guys stonewalling the running back and stopping him from getting an inch.
You know they want to give it to Buckley. He had 2 rushing touchdowns a year ago. Now it's Buckley and Nixon and Salam. Great penetration again. The tackle actually made behind the line of scrimmage by Lowry. Leon Lowry, just a tremendous all-around player, Syracuse transfer. And it's 3rd and goal.
And we talked about the length, speed, and athleticism. A nice job of that speed coming from the backside and selling out to dive and make sure that Nixon can't get in the end zone, and he's flexing.
Nixon and Abdul Salam again.
Quarterback sneak could be good.
He's going to keep it. Wolf. He's in there. He made it. Are they going to say no? I thought he had made it. He does have the first down, though, it would appear. Waller did grab him. I thought he had gotten in. Let's take a look again. That's just a tremendous individual play by Waller.
I thought they used the quarterback, and I think the referee's got it right. His right knee looks like it grazed the turf. Let's take a closer look. Right knee down, ball is short, and a big-time stop there for Wisconsin. But as you can see, the offense is staying on the field, and they are committed to going after Wisconsin. They don't know how many opportunities he's going to get with an inch to go to the end zone, so they're going for it here on 4th down. At least that's what they're showing right now.
And it was goal to go, so I misspoke. It's 4th down here. Remember, the Badgers stopped opponents on 4th down a number of times a year ago. They've done this a lot, especially in this building. 7 out of 13 times, which was 7th best in the country, number 1 in the Big Ten. They're going to talk about it. Boy, you think halftime might be different depending on the outcome of this next play?
Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, baby. Don't leave. Don't leave. Out of the timeout, Western Michigan lining up very quickly. This looks like a mano-a-mano manhood drive. They're disdaining the 3 and going for it on 4th down.
Yeah, and in the break, I talked to you. I said, I would take the 3 points, but I completely understand what he's doing here. And don't be surprised if they don't get this quarterback on the edge with options.
Scouting report would say it's Buckley. And it is. He was stopped, but the whistle stopped. Play. Wisconsin called a timeout before the handoff.
Timeout. Wisconsin. They're first.
Little chess match going on, huh?
30 seconds in length.
Yeah, and you know what? They had to stop. They ran the play, and Wisconsin had to stop. But I understand completely why Tressel wanted that timeout. And Luke ran all the way down there to get their attention. But the play did take off, and they had it diagrammed perfectly. So hold on to that thought. And think about it. We've only got 3 minutes left in this half. Now, how different is the texture of this game based on this one play going into halftime and, for that matter, the entire second half?
Yeah, I mean, things are different. I can tell you that. Things are going to be different if you get in the end zone here if you're Western Michigan. Keep an eye on Jake Chaney, the green dot, the conductor of this defense. He's going to be the guy that tries to make this play.
Buckley again in the backfield out of the gun. He is in there. Touchdown. Had 10 of them a year ago and finally cracks through for the touchdown. It did not come easily against this Badger defensive wall.
I just love Buckley's power. He's a young guy, but watch him get the ball and then just power through the back of his own teammates to get into the end zone. A very nice job there by the young fella, Jalen Buckley.
But listen to this. Scott Alexander, our content coordinator, all over it. Right? This is a long drives game for really a short game on the clock, so to speak. For those of us interested in getting back to the hotel before midnight. 16-play drive. 78 yards, 8 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock. That, my friend, is a return to sender.
It's so impressive to see Western Michigan put together a drive like that.
Palmer Domsky with the extra point. The half is almost over, and there have only been 5 team drives in this game. 5. Ooh, we love it when it's quickly played.
And Wolf loves it too.
Yes, indeed. Timeout. You look at the first 2 drives and then that last drive, which, by the way, partner, closed the gap big time on that all-important time of possession statistic in the first half.
Yeah, they've got a real plan, and it starts with Jalen Buckley. And like I talked about earlier, they made it very, very clear that they are going to feed him the football. They are committed to making sure that he gets himself going, and I think he's found his way against this Wisconsin defense.
Tretch Kekahuna, number 2, is awaiting the kickoff from Gavin Lamb. Excuse me. From Domsky. And here comes Kekahuna. Ooh, what a trip up. Tremendous special teams play. That was a big-time hit. 21, Josh Franklin, reserve defensive back, piercing through there, the upending in real speed. Take a look.
And he's helped out by Deshaun Bustle, who comes in and loads the boom.
That was a sandwich job at the 16. Well, tomorrow, baseball night in America on Fox. The Braves take on NL East rival Bryce Harper and the Phillies, or it's a battle in the NL Central. The Brujas battle Ella de la Cruz and the Reds. It all begins tomorrow night at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. 1st and 10, Van Dyke on the curl. Complete. Just a couple of yards shy of a first down to Bryson Green. They're going to be playing quickly here.
I think you're going to get to see the true element of the air raid on this drive, using width and depth, attacking the entire 53 and a half and making sure that Western Michigan's defense has to move from sideline to sideline.
Tawee Walker, the Oklahoma transfer, of the setback. And he'll tote it ahead for the first down. Out to the 28-yard line. Now he's got, Van Dyke, the 4th most career passing yards among the active quarterbacks in the Power 4. Interestingly, all 4, Devin, are transfers. Will Rogers Did it at Washington from Mississippi State. Jackson Dart at Ole Miss. Peyton Thorne at Auburn. And Van Dyke, 7,469 at Wisconsin from Miami coming in. There's Walker. Ahead to the 35-yard line, and we've reached that 2-minute timeout. And for the benefit of those of you that were not with us for week 0, that is a new wrinkle in our game. It's not a warning. We don't warn in college. That delivers a negative connotation.
We just take it.
We just take it, and we call it timeout. Not go to the corner, but just a timeout.
See you, baby.
I make big money. I drive big cars.
This time of year, you might hear the term Wisconsin, a swing state. Doesn't have to be a political connotation. They swing in Wisconsin. They know how to have a good time. You know what I mean?
I'm staying out of it.
They know how to have a good time in Wisconsin. As they say, a non-denominational good time. Walker. Howie Walker beyond the 40 to the 42-yard line. Another Walker, Corey Walker, the defensive end, number 93, redshirt junior from Normal, Illinois, with the stop. Clock ticking. We've not seen them, Devin, really go vertical whatsoever. It's been dink and dunk time in Phil Longo's air raid offense so far. And a lot of this, a lot of Tyree Walker, too.
And, Tim, a lot of it is because when you go 12 personnel, you got 5 offensive linemen, you got 2 tight ends, right? That makes 7. You got the quarterback who's shown he can run, and the running back. That's 9 guys.
Right.
And with safeties back and corners outside the box and linebackers playing that outside linebacker position, Western Michigan's defense just doesn't have enough, and so lean into the run game.
You keep thinking he's setting up something because this guy can wing it. Crossing pattern, it's caught. Healthy gain there. Right in the seam to Will Pauling, the slot receiver. Gain of 13. Ball now at the 40. And he's looking long this time. Goes to the corner route, and it's caught by Bryson Green. A lot of cushion over there, respecting the speed of Bryson Green.
And it's perfect by Green. This is exactly what you want. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Think you're going deep. Nope, drop out. And a very nice job of getting to the sideline, using those feet on the sideline, and making sure that the referee has no choice but to say catch, first down.
The Badgers have a couple of timeouts remaining. And they've now spread it out, bringing the tight end Ashcraft into a slot and a trips formation. 5 wides, no one in the backfield. Lance Taylor looking on. Going deep this time, and incomplete over the head of Bryson Green, and solid coverage by Bilal Kone. Number 1 was right there with him.
I love this from Kone. He does a nice job of closing the gap and pushing Green to the sideline. Now, there's no space for the quarterback to fade him away from the defender, and the ball lands out of bounds. When you're in practice at the highest levels, you have this line on the field. It's sometimes red, sometimes blue, and it's a 5-yard line that keeps the receiver in place so the quarterback can fade you away from the defender. There was no space there. Nice job by Kone.
2nd and 10. Pressure off the backside. Pass is incomplete. Ashcraft. Or did they rule it complete? It was, looks like they, no, it was incomplete. Well, for a moment that they gave the signal incomplete, and then we're going to spot it where he was. And they brought it back to the original line of scrimmage. Van Dyke, 12 of 20 now for 100 yards. Everything that's been completed inside 15 yards. I mean, the one crossing pattern, that's been about it. Akers in the backfield now.
Tretch Kekahuna is a guy who hasn't gotten much work right now.
Blitz coming from the safety side, and it's caught at the 15. It was bobbled. Yes, Kekahuna, great call, partner. You were right on top of that one. 14 yards, move the chains.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy that they rely on. He came on very strong at the end of the year. Didn't play a lot the entire season, but when he did play, he made an impact, and you can see what he can do there, getting open for his scrambling quarterback. Nice job of Van Dyke. Once again, putting his legs on display, gets outside, falling down, and then puts a BB on his chest. Nice job by Kekahuna. Getting across the field. Just running the open space, right? Width and depth. Width and depth. That's what the air raid is. He does a nice job there.
You can understand now why Longo had Van Dyke on his radar for a long time. Well, the State Farm halftime show is coming up. The big noon kickoff crew will have it for you from Morgantown, West Virginia. You'll see the numbers on this drive for Van Dyke. Rob and Matt, Mr. Ingram. Who's that good-looking quarterback I once worked with? I think he played for the Domers. I think it might be Brady or Brady Quinn.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me.
Man, I guess.
I was like, we're still working, baby.
Wait a minute. Leinart's wife might be mad at me now that I mentioned that Brady's the good-looking one. Alicia, of course, his lovely wife, former gymnast. A big family they have.
Man, he told some amazing stories about his family and how they get after it in that household.
1st and 10. Tawee Walker, the setback. 24 ticks left in the opening half, tied at 7. Van Dyke, plenty of time now. Lets it fly in the corner, and it's incomplete. Great coverage in that secondary. Ashcraft was the intended receiver. Van Dyke had all kinds of time. Naquan Washington was over there in coverage.
Wisconsin tried to get those crossing patterns to kind of cross some of those guys up, and Western Michigan does a very good job of making sure they stay with their man. And I love what Van Dyke did there. Tried to buy a little time, knowing that he has that safety blanket outside the pocket to just chuck the ball out of bounds to live to fight another down.
Wolf, his counterpart, looks on. Van Dyke out of the gun. Over the middle, that pass almost intercepted. That was dangerous. Tate Halleck had a beat on it, had 2 interceptions a year ago. Halleck.
Yeah, it could be a miscommunication, but I just think that's a missed throw there by Van Dyke. You can see Pauling going into that post route, and he's going to be open. Van Dyke thinks he's going to widen just a little bit more and come inside. He doesn't widen much. He gets open, and it's almost disastrous
By the way,
for Wisconsin.
How many times do you see in a situation like this, end of game or end of half, when there's a pick and then the next play, boom.
Yeah, you got to take advantage, especially when you come into a place like Camp Randall. If you're Western Michigan, you have to take advantage of those opportunities. And if you don't, something bad could happen.
Play clock winding down. Looks like they may have gotten the timeout. No, they're going to say 5-yard penalty.
Offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Well, they had a timeout they could have taken too, so that's surprising. That one's on Van Dyke. And it comes at an inopportune time, too. 3rd and 15. And remember, they've already missed 1 field goal tonight, Vacos. Van Dyke tucks it and runs it and ushers himself out of bounds prior to being pushed by Donald Willis. And it is 4th down. So you suspect a field goal try here by Vacos, who missed one earlier tonight after a 16-play drive on Wisconsin's first possession.
Tim, I've been so impressed with Western Michigan's ability. They're 50%.
Yeah.
Right? You got 4 drives into the red zone. They stop Wisconsin twice and try to force another missed field goal here.
Well, he missed a 36-yarder earlier. This one from 34. Not this time, right down Broadway. And we've come to the end of the half. Luke Fickell told us that in a game like this, particularly with what's to come in a couple of weeks, South Dakota in here next week, and then Alabama in 2 weeks, you got to be thinking big picture. But right now, at halftime, I'm thinking it's about the here and now. You got to handle the Broncos first. Coming up, the State Farm halftime show with all those nice-looking guys, right? Rob Stone, Brady Quinn, Matt Leinart, Urban Meyer, and Mark Ingram right after this.
It's too late,
kind of what happened in the first half. Tick, 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 tick. You know, a lot of ball control. 10-7 our score and an occasional boom. Devin Gardner by my side, the old Michigan quarterback, and that was textbook run game. And let's be honest, they're being a little vanilla given the fact that Alabama's around the corner.
On the horizon.
Yeah, I get that. But let's talk about the how and the why for Wisconsin.
There's a lot of how and why out there. How is Wisconsin having success, and why isn't Western Michigan able to stop it? It's Chez Mellusi in this run game, but there are some little intricacies that are being displayed that I want to show you right now in this how and why, right? You got 12 personnel. We talked about it in the game. That gives you 9 guys on offense, right? Well, on the other side of the ball, you only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, Tim, I'm not a fool and I'm not a scientist, but I do know some things. 9 is more than 7. You're going to win that rep more times than not, and that's what they've been able to do. They've been able to pick up chunks of yardage at a time, and Chez Mellusi is having his way, and Wisconsin gets the ball to start the third.
They do. And all of that being said, I'm going to suggest this to you, however. Well, Western Michigan, all things considered, even with all those yards and those long drives, in many, many ways, this is played right into their wheelhouse. You know, a couple of big plays of any kind in the second half, and at some point you're thinking, oh, we better start thinking not necessarily about the big picture, but about this picture. Look at this run, reversing his field. Oh, entertaining, Trich. That kahuna. Josh caught up with Luke Fickell. Josh?
Well, Tim, Luke Fickell said on offense they've been methodical. They move the ball down the field, but they have to find a way to create big plays. You guys talked about it. They want to get some shots down the field. And on defense, he said, we have to find a way to stop the run.
Simple, transparent, and accurate. Those were really fantastic drives, but only 10 points to show for it. Giacomelli in the backfield with Mellusi. And it's Chez. And again, ahead for 4 yards on first down. Ontario Thompson, the defensive tackle, number 11, making the tackle.
And 4 yards on first down is exactly what you want, right? You want 4 yards on first down. However, you do want to see this Wisconsin offense show some of the explosiveness that they've talked about and that they expect to get from their quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke.
Now Aker checks in, 34 in red. Along with Mellusi, a tandem in the backfield. And it's Chez Mellusi again. Cuts it back up. That's a brilliant run. Out to midfield for the first down, a gain of 11.
Take a look at Aker get on the outside and just move guys out of the way and clear it out for Chez Mellusi. Chez Mellusi does not need a lot of space. He only needs a little bit of daylight. And if you give him that big of a hole, he's going to pick up yards every time. Another first down for this Wisconsin offense.
Mellusi now with 50 yards on 10 carries, so that's 5 yards a tote. Even a liberal arts student like me can figure that one out. Mellusi ahead for 3 this time. Donald Willis with the stop. Well, should mention that our Fox family of networks, is going to be busy around Camp Randall. Your old partner Eric Collins and my old partner Spencer Tillman will be here next week with South Dakota coming in on FS1, and then they get Alabama with Gus, Joel, and Jenny on the 3rd week of the season. Walker and Aker again. They run a little bootleg action and get it out to Aker out of the backfield. Well defensed by Western Michigan. That's Aaron Wolford, number 5, the safety.
Nice job coming out of the middle and once again making an open field tackle. Now, Aker is not the guy that you're going to put in positions to make guys miss in the open field. He's more of one of those bangers that you want to get inside and have him run over guys. But very nice job by Wolford again, coming out of the middle of the field and making an open field tackle.
3rd down and 6. Out of the shotgun again. Van Dyke's pass, quick curl, and it is caught. And it's Poling again. Very elusive. Down to the 30, and he's playing with a bit of an edge. Will Poling had 74 catches a year ago, 2nd most in the Big Ten.
Will Pauling does a really good job of just turning and hooking up. It's just a stick route. You turn out. You can run out if it's man-to-man coverage, but if it's zone coverage, you turn, hook up nice and easy, and a nice throw by Tyler Van Dyke right on his numbers.
4th catch for him tonight for 41 yards. Pressure off the side, coming at him again. Van Dyke's pass. Boy, that one could have been picked. He's very fortunate that Willis could not get himself. He had sort of lost his balance a bit there. Had he not lost it, I think he would have had an interception.
I love this part. I love in the pocket, 2 hands on the ball, making sure you get outside. I don't love throwing back into the field of play because that's dangerous. Throw that ball away or continue to try to run, maybe pick up 1-2 yards and live to fight another down.
Now you noticed he got his leg tied up with the receiver while he was defending him, did Willis. Had that not occurred, he might have been able to pull that one out of the air. Walker the setback. And again, an outstanding play, just getting through there with penetration right away. Bonema, 22. Boom, Bonema, who along with Willis has done an outstanding job. Dominic Moon will come in for Wahlberg, 47, has also been very good at linebacker.
Watch the details by Bonema. He just squeezes down and makes sure that he closes the gap and not allow the runner to get outside or inside. A very nice job by Bonema there.
3rd down and 11.
Western Michigan defense went to a too-high safety look. You got middle of the field open.
Obvious passing down. Van Dyke, out pattern. It's caught. Kekahuna. And a gamble and a miss, a whiff by the defender.
At home, I can't explain to you how difficult a throw this really is.
Yeah.
And just by the hair on his chinny chin, it gets to Kekahuna and a nice catch and concentration. That's from the right hash, about 15 yards down the field, on the button outside the outstretched arms of number 21 in white, Josh Franklin.
Yeah, Franklin, I thought, was thinking he might come away with a pick, and in so doing, was unable to make the play. But you're right, that pass was thrown where it had to be in order to have a completion. Malusi with only a 2-yard pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I can tell you this right now. Franklin doesn't get a chance to see guys throwing from the right hash all the way to the outside sideline hashes in the Mid-American Conference.
That is a big league throw.
Oh, yeah. I saw him warming up before the game with, just shorts and T-shirts. He's out a little early. And I'm like, wait, this Tyler Van Dyke has got a big arm.
A little sprint out action, and he goes to the tight end underneath. Ashcraft very close to the line to make at the 6-yard line. Bilal Kone, after an 8-yard gain, makes the stop.
This
First
is
down.
such a cool play. Watch Ashcraft right here in the middle of the line of scrimmage. He blocks, he blocks, he blocks. We call it a tight end hide. He comes out late, and there's nobody there to cover him. Well-designed play by offensive coordinator Phil Longo.
Late getting a player off the field, might have had 12 men. Yep, the flag does come down. Western Michigan will be called for having too many on the field. That will be. We haven't had many calls tonight by Greg Sujak.
False start. Offense. Number 57.
Wow.
5-yard penalty remains. First down.
Well, so the foul is actually on Winfro, who just spit the bit, but I think he felt like they were going to have 12 men on the field as a player late was getting off of the field for Western Michigan. They may have gotten away with one there. That backs them up. 1st and goal now from outside the 10.
Down here tight inside the red zone. Once you get to the 10-yard line, it's a lot of man-to-man coverage.
Malusi. And you can just feel this crowd just excited every time he gets the ball. He's just going to bowl you over.
Again, he was supposed to be quickness, Tim, but every single time he's the boom. Finishing runs, leaning forward. He's done an outstanding job to this point in the game of making sure everybody knows I'm healthy, baby. I'm 100% back, and I'm ready to carry the load of this offense.
Season-ending injury, as we mentioned in Game 4 at Purdue a year ago. 2nd and goal. Malusi trying to bounce out. Look at that reaction by Western Michigan. Boy, these guys have been tremendous inside the red zone. Halleck, who is an all-everything player, Ty's kid, by the way. Ty Halleck's kid, Michigan State transfer.
Malusi's done a nice job of getting to the edge, but watch Halleck come and set the edge. Boom, right there. Now Malusi can't get outside. He reaches and grabs, and he starts to push him back. A very nice job by that Western Michigan defense, yet again, setting the edge, being in position, covering all the gaps to make sure that Malusi can't do what he does.
All right, now it's 3rd and goal. Trips to the bottom of your screen. 13th play of this long drive. Van Dyke running out of time. That pass is almost intercepted again on the tip drill. Halleck got a hand on it, and then in coverage, Washington, Naquan Washington, 13, had a great chance at the pilfer.
Van Dyke is trying to get through his reads, but you can see Pauling look away from the ball because he thinks it's going to turn into a scramble drill. And when it turns to a scramble drill, he's trying to get behind the defense, and it almost is disastrous. You can see this on a number of occasions early in the first half and now here in the second half. Just miscommunications from the most talented receiver from a year ago and the new quarterback from the University of Miami.
Hey, Coach, for the 24-yard try. With a slight angle right, and he puts it right through. So he's 2 out of 3 tonight. Boy, there have been a couple of occasions here where Western Michigan has been millimeters away.
Bend, but don't break.
Yeah, that's a win for Western Michigan. The boys from Kalamazoo are here to stay, it appears. 13-7 our score. And another long drive yet again. 14 plays, 59 yards. Leading to a field goal of 24 yards. And that lead is only 6. Well, Michigan State got more than they wanted tonight in their home opener with Florida International. Coach Herman has to be pleased with that performance by his team, albeit in defeat. Hayden Childs, the transfer from Oregon State, struggled somewhat in that matchup. And let's go down to Josh Sims, who talked with Lance Taylor.
Well, Tim, I asked Lance Taylor about the decision to go for the touchdown on 4th down late in the second quarter rather than taking the 3 points and the field goal. And he said, look, we wanted to set a precedent. We believe in our running back field. We had confidence we could punch that into the end zone. We have a gritty group. We showed that and that response to Wisconsin's first touchdown drive. Let's see if they can keep that grittiness and keep that response going out here in the second half, Tim.
That is certainly following up on his pregame speech. I think you would agree on that one. That young man has been in a lot of great places and worked with a lot of outstanding coaches. Wolf has to get away from a lot of heavy-duty traffic and manage to get back to the line of scrimmage. Think about this. He worked for Saban out of the gates, did Lance Taylor. Then for Brian Kelly at Notre Dame. And after spending some time with the Jets and the Panthers in the NFL, David Shaw had him at Stanford. I recall going in there to do some games on the farm. Those are 3 diametrically different, but all very successful head coaches. Be a human sponge, right? Learn all you can on the way up. Buckley, he's got a first down and then some. Past the 40 to the 42. Jaheim Thomas runs him down, gain of 17.
Young running backs at home, this is what you call pressing the hole. Press, press, press. And then it creates that cutback lane, and you can just slide right on over to the right and get down the field. A nice job by the redshirt sophomore, Jalen Buckley.
He's got 11 carries for 52 now. Pressure off the backside, looking long for number 1, Mortimer. Well, Buggs was out there. Pass was a bit overthrown. It'll be 2nd and 10, but I like that. Throw it deep every now and then, partner. Throw it deep.
Yeah, and I don't think that's on Wolf. When you're a wide receiver, you're taught when you get into those deeper routes, you want to get nice hard steps out of your break with your head down so you can keep your speed. For Buggs there, he looks right away, and he's slowed down so he can't get to that deep pass.
And that's Oldie. Zahir Abdus-Salam ahead for 2 yards, and that's it. Kurt Neal, the safety, was there. Listen, Hayden Wolf is a rather stoic young man out of Venice, Florida.
We barely got a smile out of him.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely. But a guy with a pulse like that is a guy you want when under the gun. 3rd and 8 right here. Broncos looking to answer Wisconsin's opening drive for 3. Wolf in some trouble. Nice sidestep and a completion. It's caught. It's Dudon. Oh, the Dudon day and night for a first down.
This is one of my favorite concepts to throw, and one of Wolf's as well. It's called a dagger. He does a nice job in the pocket and then sings that dig right on the numbers of number 17 in white. An outstanding job of breaking that arm down in the sidearm slot and driving it on Dudon's numbers.
You went to the Manning Passing Academy. Let me tell you, in his prime, the patriarch Archie Manning, he threw a few of those.
Double pass.
Chicanery. Oh, well defended and blocked. Sambucci was the intended receiver, but it was Hunter Wohler, of all people, right, number 24, the ever-present safety, who batted it down.
Yeah, and the reason he batted it down is because he's very tall. I can tell you that. Whenever he's listed, we just saw a sidearm, but that is not exactly what you want when you're throwing the football. The ball's kind of flailing to the left before Waller even touches it. Yeah. But that's a nice job. You can see how aggressive Western Michigan is on offense right now.
Walt Bell did indicate to us that we might see something like that. A good time to call it really as Buckley forges ahead for 3. And so now another long third down situation. Nazir Fulcurin making the stop. They really feel that cornerback Fulcurin has made tremendous strides in the offseason since a year ago.
Yeah, I got a chance to talk to him on the field before this game, and his growth from Grand Valley State has been amazing. He's singled up at the top of the screen with an opportunity to get a stop.
3rd down and 8. Swing it out to Zambucci again. And he tries to jitterbug away. Gets it up to about the 31-yard line, and that is it. Wohler closing quickly again. And it's 4th down. Let's see if they go for 3. It appears that they will.
We talked about the overall team speed and how it will be better. Take a look at number 8 in red. Leon Lowry Jr. See him spin back? That's athleticism. Now, he doesn't make the tackle because you got a shifty guy in Cambucci, but that athleticism to go get the quarterback, spin back, run straight down line of scrimmage, and help make this play. That's the athleticism that you get from these new linebackers.
37, Palmer Domsky for a 39-yard try, and he pushed it. High snap that time, might have impacted it. R.J. Todd, 46, got a little airmail to Milmore, who did a nice job placing it, but that always affects the kicker. A 3 they could really use in a game like the one tonight.
Because it's on the way, is it not?
By the way, we made some history with Jump Around here a couple of years ago.
Oh, did you? I wonder what that was.
Oh, my guy's back in the truck are cringing. Here's Walker, Tawi Walker, out to the 36-yard line. You know, feed and fan him. Just keep on feeding the big fella and let him churn up more yardage. It's a 1-score game now, but if you can just have some more long drives, even if you don't get it done in the red zone, and to this point, Phil Longo's team has not, a field goal will give them a 2-score lead.
Tawi Walker's the guy, the kind of runner that just leans on defense.
Yeah, setting up a little screen action here with Kakahuna, and he's got a first down.
He's got some juice, man.
He does. He really does.
I love watching him and his maturation a year ago, and it looks like he's taking the next step this season. We saw him on the kickoff return. When they get him in that situation, those open field opportunities, he can be extremely dangerous to go along with Pauling.
Gain of 7 out to the 43. And Cade Giacomelli's come back into the game along with Walker. All kinds of time now running out. Down he goes. Isaiah Green. And Van Dyke. That's a coverage sack. There was just no one to go to. Loss of 9.
this is a really nice job by the Western Michigan defense. Those defenders are all over those wide receivers, and there's nowhere to go with the ball. You can see there's no openings through the middle, and he's looking around. He's looking left. He's looking down the middle. He wouldn't go all the way back to the right because the concept is to the left. He can't find anybody, but a nice job of really protecting the ball, getting down to live to fight another day.
Yeah, protect the ball and yourself. Now in trouble again. Lets it fly towards the boundary, incomplete for Walker. And it'll be 3rd down and a long 19 yards to go. This is by far and away the most difficult drive offensively that they've seen, and some of the fans looking like it's getting a little bit late. Would like to see a little more excitement in their offense. But they've stretched the field somewhat, the width of the field, but not necessarily the depth of it. They have not looked for anything in the seams or anything too very vertical. They go empty now with 5 wides. Van Dyke in trouble again. And he's down. Ball is loose. Look out. Ball is on the ground. A scramble for it. And it looks like Western Michigan may have it. What a big play if they do. Looks like it's recovered by Tyson Lee, 58. Isaiah Green with the trip up of Van Dyke, which caused the ball to break away from his body as he tried to brace himself on the field, but with the ball hand.
As much as he had great ball security on the previous play, that is not what you want to see. It's always the guy that you don't see that gets the ball out. You're running with that ball down below the waist. You just want to have 2 hands on the ball. A perfect example is a Joe Burrow. I just love the way he is in the pocket with 2 hands on the ball. Van Dyke has to protect the ball because now you've given life to a Western Michigan that has been struggling to slow down these Wisconsin drives. We'll be back in just a second.
That is Scott Power, the defensive coordinator. What a job he's done. He was at Stephen F. Austin when Longo was at Sam Houston State. He knows something about this air raid. He was at Louisiana Tech for the last 2 years. The Broncos D, after Lou Esposito departed after 7 years, the Broncos were 6th worst in the FBS per play last year. They have acquitted themselves very nicely in this bend but don't break defense tonight against a Wisconsin offense that you could argue might be holding back some, but that was a really horrible offensive sequence in that last series of plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's coaching his butt off. Wisconsin's offense loves to get to those crossing patterns. He has his guys matching those, passing them off, and putting his guys in position to put pressure on the quarterback, and you can see they got the football back.
2nd and 9. Jaden Nixon, you can see this Wisconsin defense just says, okay, you got a break, but this is where it ends right here. Jake Chaney and Johnny Pius. I think a little bit of help from Lowry, who helped disrupt on this play too.
Yeah, Pius is a guy that comes from the backside. Now, him coming down that hard, that aggressively, it opens up for those opportunities for naked bootlegs with the quarterback around the edge. He has to be wary of that because he's the guy that has to protect that set edge.
Let's see if Hayden Wolf can answer on 3rd and 10. Out pattern. Beautiful change of direction by Mortimer. But again, only half of it. He gets it to the 30. It'll be 4th and 6. You got to go for it here, don't you? I mean, you just got the break of a lifetime, and you may be too far away to try a long field goal. Well, they're going to give it a go. They're going to bring out Domsky and see if the snap might be a little bit better. Cut it to 3.
Honestly, Tim, I agree here.
Yep.
If you feel comfortable that you'll get these 3 points, take those points.
I do too.
Because Western Michigan's defense and Scott Power, they've shown that they can stand up tall to this Wisconsin offense.
Got to get a good snap, though. Domsky was 3 out of 8 a year ago. Look, it's a fake. Look at this. It's Domsky trying to get to the house. Hello. How do you do? Milmore, that was a play I recall that was used. Watch this toss. This is a play Les Miles used at LSU a few years ago in a nationally televised game that everyone will remember against South Carolina.
Les Miles is smiling.
Yeah.
LeBron James is smiling. Magic Johnson, he's smiling. Behind the back, no look. What a play call. They stay on offense when we come back.
They sure. As we open the fourth quarter after a jump around, Brock Lowry's coming in quarterback, number 14. Run a little wildcat action. Number 14, Brock Lowry, redshirt freshman from Canfield, Ohio. Well, the momentum of the game being what it was, after a fake field goal that I'm telling you helped LSU win a national title in 07.
Yeah, I remember it.
They beat South Carolina. That was a huge play in that game. And they went on to win the title with 2 losses that year, only time it ever happened during the BCS era. Abdus Salam now the lone setback. Hayden looking back of the end zone, overthrown. Bosma was back deep in the back of the end zone. We have a flag down, marker down in the end zone. The tight end Bosma was the intended receiver.
They were running guys on late.
Yeah, it looked like Fickle was running down the sideline, too.
For Cureen.
Substitution infraction. Men on the field during the live ball. Defense.
Yep, he knew it.
Half the distance to the goal remains second down.
He was running out to try to get the timeout. He knew they were in trouble.
Yeah, they ran for Cureen on late. And I think that made it 12.
Yep.
Illegal substitution. He tried to stop it from happening.
He did. He did.
But how about the reason they're down here, man? That fake field goal
the
was
courage.
Man.
The courage to call that and pull that off. Buckley bouncing it outside. Touchdown, Western Michigan. We're tied.
If you want to get the outside, you want to capture it, you got to be strong at the point of attack. Watch 73 in white, Cushy, immediately capture the edge, and it allows for Buckley to just race to the end zone.
His second touchdown of the night. And now Domsky, who pulled off the fake field goal to get him here, puts them in the lead for the very first time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's week 1 of the college football season. We got ourselves a Mac attack inside the camp, and they never expected this. Oh, Les Miles is chewing some grass somewhere with a smile on his face. A trifecta of courage. You got to have courage to call it. The man in the middle did that. And then the courage to execute it. And those two, Milmore right, Domsky left. Tell me why and how.
And none of that works without Corey Walker doing his job. You've got Jake Chaney flying over the top. He's going to make this tackle. But Corey Walker, the defensive end, finds a way to wall him off. And now it's a huge play to put you in position to take the lead. I love special teams so much, Tim, because that's the first opportunity you get for the offense and the defense to work as a unit. And they did a great job working there.
And the young man from Bloomington, Illinois, with a beautiful little pass over the shoulder. You know they worked on that in their sleep.
Magic Johnson is smiling.
Oh, yeah.
No look. I love it.
Kekahuna from the 2. Boy, was he hit. I mean, I heard ball's loose. Ball's on the ground. Ball is loose at the 21, maybe the 22. Let's see. Let's see. Looks like Wisconsin got on top of it. That was a hit. I mean, a lethal hit that Kekahuna took. Watch this. Boom. Right there. Number 28 of Western Michigan lowered the boom right there. Jamison Young. That is one heck of a stick.
And Jelani Willis came over to wrap up, finishing the play, and that's what popped that ball out. Lucky for Kekahuna, it falls down right in front of him, and he can get up and put his arms around it tight like a lid on a pickle jar.
Whatever you were, as they say, keeping in your hip pocket offensively, might think about bringing it out now.
Empty it right now.
Maybe time to empty the bucket. Van Dyke's pass, quick curl, and it's caught by Pauling. And now, you allow a team like Western Michigan to hang around, then get a lead. And now you see the courage they have to do what they did offensively. And with that trick play on the fake field goal, Malahoussi now burrows ahead to about the line to make, which was the 31-yard line. Bonema with the stop. I can't say enough about these linebackers, and especially given the fact that Wahlberg, their best, really, their Mike linebacker, got hit with targeting. Dominic Moon, 47. Boone Bonema, 22. Have really been outstanding along with Donald Willis tonight.
And Damari Roberson has been outstanding as well, a guy who's fought through a lot of adversity throughout his career.
Indeed. Thought his career was over. Think about it. 1,181 days in high school for Dominic Roberson, number 4 defensive. Think about that. He thought his career was over. And yet, he was able to make his way back, and when you fight through that kind of adversity, coming off an injury and coming back again, says it all. He has a great deal of resolve. Love talking to him out of Mona Shores High School, Muskegon, Michigan. 2nd and 10. A bit of a high snap. Walker. Boy, look at that aggressive defense. I mean, they are hitting and arriving at the point of attack in a bad humor. Tate Halleck with a little help from Donald Willis. This is a slobber knocker, pad on pad pop.
I mean, just playing inspired. And yet again, it's number 3, Tate Halleck in position, setting the edge, and then allowing all of his teammates to come and help. They are playing about as inspired a football as I've seen from this Western Michigan defense.
3rd down, 11. Van Dyke running out of time again. Off his heel, tipped into the air, incomplete. That one could have been picked. Could have been caught. Kone had a chance at an interception. Then Pauling almost got it on the ricochet. And now the fans are booing as Van Dyke makes his way back to the sideline.
One of the leading calls of interceptions is desperately avoiding sacks. You desperately avoiding sacks, trying to make a play, and I understand it. But in the shadow of your own end zone, you do not want to turn the ball over here. And it almost happens again there for Van Dyke.
And Terrio Thompson is the injured Bronco down on the field, number 11, the junior from Dubuque, Iowa.
When they start pulling those toes back and massaging the calf, you kind of get the idea that it's usually
watch this tip. Watch this tip drill right here. Boom, ball loose.
The timing on the hit was impeccable.
Yeah.
And because they're flying to the ball, they almost get to that.
Yeah, Williams had a shot at it. Bilal Kone had a shot at it. Well, he's been big in man-to-man coverage, hasn't he? Look at Thompson. I'm up. I'm good. Thumbs up, and he's telling
He just needs pickle juice. Pickle juice and electrolytes. I'm telling you. Get him some pickle juice, electrolytes. He'll be good to go.
By the way, I got to tell you, when you're still mowing your backyard at my age, that does come in handy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've done the electrolytes. Big
really
time. Got to do it.
Yeah.
4th and 11. They got to boot it away. Atticus Bertrams will do the honors, the Sydney, Australia native. That one takes a bounce they think that might have touched Western Michigan. If it did and deflected, it's Wisconsin's ball. I'm not sure if it did.
It did.
But they felt it did, and if so, what a break for Wisconsin. How many times do you see that, by the way? 50-yard boot, and then the ball bounces the other way. They get that Mac Daddy bounce again going the other way. On top of it, Austin Brown, number 9, is going to get the recovery.
You can see they're yelling, Peter. He's trying to get away.
It definitely got him.
But he doesn't get away quick enough. You've got to dart away as fast as you can. As soon as you hear that Peter, Peter, Peter call, you've got to get away. He doesn't do it fast enough. It barely nicks the shoulder pad, and Wisconsin's offense is back in business.
Deshaun Bussell, the reserve cornerback, it got him right there. You could see he definitely looked guilty, too. He knew it right away. And Wisconsin right on top of it with the recovery. Austin Brown. Badgers now go from their own 30 to Western Michigan's 20 on one punt. One of the football gods may be with them here. At just the nick of time as Walker gets ahead for 4.
I can guarantee the tempo is going to pick up. Phil Longo smells the blood in the water, right? And he understands that his quarterback needs to see a completion. He can see that he's getting a little bit rattled, making plays that he wouldn't ordinarily make. He hadn't seen this in camp from him. He's got to settle him down, get him some quick throws, and get him back on track.
Yep. And Western Michigan, from a defensive standpoint, that secondary has been outstanding. Van Dyke trying to do it on his own. Gets ahead to about the 11. Again, Dominic Moon, 47. That kid has been lights out since coming in for Wahlberg, who was hit with targeting.
See Walker going down the line of scrimmage, not really respecting the quarterback run from Van Dyke. And Van Dyke's just losing his footing on this brand new Wisconsin turf.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Brand new turf and heated, by the way, so they won't have the same issues that they've had with snow and ice in the past. Wisconsin will have a timeout. And in the immortal words of the great Ron Franklin, we'll take it with him. Volleyball showcase. #1 Texas meets third-ranked Wisconsin. 12:30 Sunday, only on Fox. And they can play volleyball games in football stadiums in this league. Nebraska was a great program to go along with Wisconsin. Side out. 3rd down and 2 for the Badgers. Walker. 1st and goal. They got here by way of an oh by the way punt that went awry on the bounce and hit a cornerback that just couldn't get out of the way of it to get this great field position. Walker remains the setback, the transfer from Oklahoma. Nothing's come easily inside the red zone. Walker. That wasn't easy, but it's a touchdown. Woo! Tyree Walker.
We've seen quickness from Malusi, and we've been waiting for it. And here goes the boom! Just delivering the blow by Tyree Walker.
Looks like they may be going for 2.
Make it a 7-point game.
That is what they're going to do. Makes sense. As they say, it's on the card. Coach's cards. Aker now is the setback, the hybrid number 34. It will be an H-back from time to time. Could be blocking here.
Will Pauling in motion. A guy who they want to get to on the edge right now.
Looking towards Pauling. Van Dyke back in the end zone. Caught for 2. Kekahuna. Tawi did not tippy-toe here. He lowered the boom. Thank you. I think we may be developing some chemistry.
A little bit, but nothing better than the chemistry right here. Van Dyke to Kekahuna.
Yes, indeed. As they serenade us with Fill It Up Buttercup, I can tell you we have gotten a full house of excitement tonight at Camp Randall. And it hasn't been easy for Luke Fickell, and he didn't expect it to be. But here we go with 10:35 remaining, and were it not for a huge break in the kicking game, they might find themselves still down by 1. But now with the lead, we'll see if Western Michigan can answer again. They have certainly gone and emptied their bucket of plays to be in this position with really nothing to lose out of the MAC conference. Let's go back to that 2-point play where Kekahuna got free.
Take a look at this design by offensive coordinator Phil Longo. He uses Will Pauling as a decoy. They put him in motion, so you automatically think, we're going to try and get him to the flat right now. And yes, we're going to get him to the flat, but we're using him to take the linebacker, Bonema, and move him out of position so that Kekahuna can get right behind him for an easy touchdown and a nice throw by Tyler Van Dyke.
Yeah, wonderful design, no question. The reason why Phil Longo has been as successful as he's been and has developed as many quarterbacks as he has. And somewhere upstairs, the great Mike Leach, who's got to be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame, despite what the stats show for head coaches. The tentacles of success that he's left in this game, all of college football, are amazing, and that includes Longo. We've got a 5-yard penalty for too much time, so Hayden Wolf is backed up 5 yards. He was joking with us, Longo said, well, we'll run the ball. I remember I would get in touch with Coach Leach, and he'd say, no, don't run the ball, just pass it.
Yeah.
But with Mike, it was always a pass was really a run. He was just going to toss it in a position where statistically it would always be a pass. That's only the second penalty, by the way, against Western Michigan tonight. Oldie, number 10, Abdus Salam, is in the backfield. And pretty healthy run right there to get some of that yardage back. Shy of the 30 up to the 29. Hunter Wohler, no surprise there, making yet another tackle. Wohler, a leading tackler on this team and leading tackler in this conference a year ago. And Jaheim Thomas, number 7, is down. Looks like he may have a Charlie horse too. And those legs are spread quite like that. You get that feeling. He's slowly getting up.
The heated turf.
Yep, the heated turf. That's right.
Making it hot down there,
well, that should help you with a bad lower back.
I know, right? He just lay down for Jaheim Thomas. Just let me lay here for a little bit. Let me warm my back up. I better not catch you down there laying on that turf. Trying to get that back going.
Might be as warm as a August afternoon in Shreveport, Louisiana. 2nd and 6. Wohler has 5 tackles tonight and a pass breakup. You keep thinking if there's a big play to be made by a defensive player, it could be him, number 24 in red. 2nd and 6. Wolf lets it fly, and it's caught. Boy, he throws it well on the run, doesn't he? Anthony Sambucci. He averaged 15 yards a reception a year ago, the Lamont, Illinois star.
We talked about getting on the edge on those naked bootlegs because those defensive ends were making plays on the backside. Watch Sambucci just find his way through the defense and then find the empty cavity there in man coverage. It's difficult for Fork-Urine to chase him all the way across the field.
Buckley. Boy, he runs with intentionality. He got popped about 5 yards into that run and forged ahead for 3 more. Kurt Neal with the stop. That's a gain of 6, and he took the first lick after 3.
I'm so impressed with Jalen Buckley. I was impressed with him on film. A young redshirt freshman a year ago. They found out what they had, and they leaned into him. But they've leaned into him against a Big Ten defense tonight, and he has delivered.
13 carries, 61 yards for the MAC Freshman of the Year a season ago. Runs into Jake Chaney this time, the senior from Cape Coral, Florida, and leader of this defense, now in his 2nd year.
And look at this collision. Boom! That's a stalemate. I'd say that's a tie.
I would too.
I'd say that's a tie.
I would too. Leverage, baby. Leverage. 3rd and 3. Buckley. Looks like he may be about a football shy.
Yeah.
Maybe about a foot or so shy of a first down.
And
decision time.
I think that you've got a lot of the momentum. I think you stay on the field and you go here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I get it. Remember, your guys are smaller. They're gassed. That defense needs some time. Look at that! Look at that crowd. The folks that made it in from Kalamazoo, all in. Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Badgers stone him right at midfield. Well, 62% of the time, they got it done on 4th down. Number 1 in the Big Ten a season ago. I have no problem with the call, though. I really don't. Well, the gambler, Kenny Rogers sang it long time ago. Gambler lost that time. Taking on Bryce Harper and the Phillies. The NL Central, the Brewers battle Dela Cruz and the Cincinnati Reds. All begins at 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. Wisconsin looking to put a period on this ball game right now after the turnover on downs. Malusi never goes down on the first hit. Yak yardage is his specialty. Damari Roberson polishes him off after a gain of 6, 2nd and 4.
And that yak means yards after contact. He's done an outstanding job of that today.
Hayden Wolf hoping for another opportunity with the game still in question. Lucy, boy, there's that favorite term that you guys love to use, sifting his way through the line of scrimmage. Whether it's a quarterback or a running back, I love that word, sifting.
This is the paradigm of what sifting looks like. You find a way, you get behind, you find a way, and then you burst through just a little bit for another first down.
I've been around you guys way too long. 1st and 10. Walker. Well, you watch him run. Now, I know Oklahoma's got some, a bevy of backs, and a Brinks armored truck of NIL money. But Tyree that had to be a hard guy to watch walk away.
Yeah,
I mean, it really did. What a future this young man's got out of North Las Vegas, Nevada.
And these are different run schemes than he's used to, and so he's still getting used to it, running out of this air raid system. And the more reps he gets, the more comfortable he's going to get, and the more times you're going to see those explosive runs.
No question. Oh, a little RPO move. That's a thing of beauty. Nowakowski, the tight end. And he rambles down inside the 20. Thrown out of bounds there. Think about all the great tight ends historically that they've had at Wisconsin. That's a gain of 13.
They've been in 12 personnel all day, but here they go to 11, and they have him in that up-back position. He just goes right underneath, and he's wide open because they've run the ball so well. Those defensive ends have to crash down and protect inside. He is able to escape right outside on the edge, and a nice little throw for Tyler Van Dyke.
There's that bootleg action again. Curl caught inside the 10, pulling down to the 5. Second to Illinois, Isaiah Williams, 82 in the big, led the big in pass catching a year ago.
Pauling does such an outstanding job of being friendly. You can see him. He gives the quarterback both his shoulders, and it's just a bigger target for a quarterback to hit. Nice and friendly, catches the ball and is under control so he can catch the ball and gets a different kind of yak, yards after catch. A nice job there by Pauling.
Bilal Kone is down on the field, so they're checking on him. Again, it looks like it might just be fatigue and a Charlie horse. And let's get some fluids in him as fast as we can. That young man has played a whale of a game, too. Yeah, I'll tell you what, in the Mid-America Conference, where you've got so much stability and teams that are basically coached by guys that are on their way up to the big leagues, and players who always have an edge. This is a team that could come from 4-8 a year ago and flip the script and get to 8-4, or maybe even better than that in the Mid-America Conference. I am impressed with what I've seen from Lance Taylor's team tonight, regardless of the outcome.
And think about the confidence you have taking a Wisconsin football team to what it looks like is going to be the brink, and then going to the Mid-American Conference I'm just telling you, you got real confidence about what you can do. And, oh, don't forget, you get your top receiver back. They're playing today a little handicap without their top wide receiver, number 9, Kenneth Womack, and then their middle linebacker, Jacob Wahlberg, who left the game fairly early because of a targeting penalty.
Late first quarter. Malusi the setback. The ball is at the 5 as they look to put the finishing touches on this one. It has not been easy. Malusi down to about the 3 this time.
Take a look at this. You got Green, he goes on the fade, and then he says, stop touching me. Get your hands off. And 13 in white, Naquan Watson said, you're not doing that to me.
By the way, hey, fellas, the ball's back here at the line of scrimmage.
You know what I love? No flag was thrown. Like,
me
that's
too.
Two guys competing a little bit after, but both guys giving it everything they've got. No harm, no foul.
Right. The whistles blow here as the ball was being snapped. I think we have a dead ball penalty.
Charge timeout, Wisconsin. Number 2, 30 seconds in length.
They got the timeout. I'm with you, though. I am really glad they did not flag either one of those young men. How about this running game tonight? That Badger ball was power-laden. Lower your shoulder, hat on a hat, all night long, Devin.
Yeah, I love watching both these runners. We highlighted them in the open for a reason. They were going to lean onto them, and the quickness and the boom have put themselves on full display. Wisconsin fans with that old school mindset, I know they love it.
Tyree Walker, Ches Malusi. And how about that? Tonight's hardest working players, sponsored by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. There they are. Second and goal. Malusi remains the setback. Tries to bounce it outside, and that was well read. Mason Nelson, the defensive tackle, junior out of Howell, Michigan, makes the play. And they lost yardage, so it's 3rd down and goal from the 6.
Really nice job by Nelson coming underneath the tackle and sifting through, kind of like the running backs do, and getting to Malusi. When you can make that play from that defensive tackle position from the backside, that's an impressive play.
It is.
Because those offensive linemen are in a position to block you, right? They are in position between you and the ball carrier.
That's all about angles and quickness. Course. 3rd down and goal. They go empty this time. Van Dyke. Oh, how about that? He's no longer a statue back there.
Oh, no, he's not.
Touchdown, Badgers.
All right. 6'4", 225 pounds. He reaches out, stretches. Is he in the end zone? I think he is.
Yeah, I do too.
Just the tip of the ball needs to touch that white. I think it does before any body part is down. A touchdown rush, something many people probably didn't have on their bingo cards from Tyler Van Dyke.
Well, his dad, I know, is proud of him. His dad, Bill, who noticed at a very early age that the young man was a gifted talent, could swing a golf club, he said, at a pro level by the time he was 2. Vacos with the extra point. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering about his golf game, his handicap is .2.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good.
Yeah. By the way, I haven't seen his swing, but if his father, Bill, in Connecticut says it's a .2,
yeah,
I'm with him.
All right.
I'm with him. And right now, he's proving to everyone that was wondering, yeah, he can move his legs and he can be resourceful back there. You know, when you go through injuries, and he had a couple of them, people begin to think, particularly at the next level, well, okay, this may be wrong with him. We got to see that he can maneuver some. And in this offense, it's pretty clear that's something Phil Longo is aware of, and he's inviting his quarterback to do.
Yeah, of course. And when we spoke in the beginning of the game, we talked about him coming into his 4th offense, maybe still not comfortable. You know, he believes he's comfortable, but you just don't know until you get an opposite color jersey out there. And he was going to be able to lean on the run game. And he's been able to do just that. And he's even added with his legs And that's going to give him a kind of a grace period as he moves throughout this season to be able to get comfortable to throw the ball down the field.
Big day coming up tomorrow. Doubleheader day on Fox. The Big Noon Crew starts us off with coverage starting at 10 a.m. Eastern from Morgantown, West by God, Virginia. They host Penn State. Then Matt Rule and Nebraska at home in Lincoln, where they're having their 1 millionth consecutive sellout against UTEP at 3:30 Eastern time. I got a hunch you and I might get there in a few weeks, my friend. You'll love Lincoln if we do.
It will be nice.
Yeah, it will be nice. Our entire Fox Sports team is out and working everywhere this weekend. Those are the games we got coming at you on Fox tomorrow. Malik Dudon with the reception, trying to play fast and get as much accomplished and hang in there. Hayden Wolf completes that one for 22 yards to Malik Dudon. Spread it and throw it and find open receivers in the seam. That's Blake Bosma on the receiving end.
I understand Wisconsin is playing that soft coverage with 244 and counting, but you just can't give out 15 yards per play for this Western Michigan offense. Man-to-man coverage. They may bring pressure.
Fade pattern towards the boundary. A lot of contact, but no flag. Sambucci, the intended receiver, he's complaining.
He was being grabbed.
He was being grabbed, but to your point, this isn't the NFL. They allow a little more jousting, but that looks like a hold.
This looks like a hold, and then a grab of the back of the jersey. That's a pass interference if I've ever seen one.
I'm with you. Yeah.
Yeah, NFL, Little League, high school, it's pass interference across the board.
Indeed. Been a rather foul-free game, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Not many little yellow hankies for game one. Just as I say it, there's one there and thrown in an area where holding would be the call at the line of scrimmage. We'll check it out.
It's the holding, hands to the face area. Looks like it's on the offense. It's going to be a hold.
Holding, number 73, offense. 10-yard penalty remains. Second down.
I'm going to mention a team to you, a surprise team over in the Big 12 tonight. And your friend and mine, Eric Collins, is going to be working tomorrow with Spencer Tillman and Iowa State. Keep an eye on Matt Campbell's team this year in the Big 12.
Left of your screen there, you can see he's beaten. He doesn't want to get his quarterback killed in the first game of the season. I actually love this holding call. If I'm a quarterback, I appreciate you not allowing Jaheim Thomas to run scot-free through my face.
Big-time sack there from Elijah Hills, the senior from Rockaway, New Jersey. Transfer from Albany, had 9 tackles for losses in 15 games a year ago. His first sack for Wisconsin.
You can see that he just gets up on him and then click and rip. And that could be a hands to the face there, but he continues to battle through and get to Wolf.
2-minute timeout time here at Camp Randall. Wisconsin struggled early. This is the play of the night. Play of the year. I know it's early in the year, but that was pretty fun, wasn't it? 28-14 Badgers. 28-14, our score with 2 minutes remaining. Tim Brando along with Devin Gardner. And there's Ricardo Hallman. Looking for him to maybe have one thrown his way. He hasn't been thrown out all night tonight.
And they shouldn't. Tied for most in the FBS a year ago with 7 interceptions.
And you know, we've not called the name of the freshman that he's mentoring tonight that you're so high on, Xavier Lucas, but that's a wonderful story about Ricardo. And he was talking to us about him. Xavier Lucas is a kid that's 6'2", goes about 190, 200 pounds, freshman out of Pompano Beach. And he said, that's my boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy, Ricardo was telling us.
The reviews on this kid are so high. Big, fast, strong. Yeah. He looks like a third-year player rather than a true freshman on the field. And for Ricardo Hallman to have such confidence to mentor him is special.
4th and 14. Wolf looking to throw it, and it might have been picked off right at the sideline by guess who? Number 6, Xavier Lucas. Gee, there was a reason we brought him up, partner.
Oh, what a nice job by, and this is the kind of stuff they've seen all camp. Reaching out with one hand, and that's
Boom.
2 feet in, and it's gonna be a catch at the next level too, baby.
Yeah, and Ricardo saying, that's my boy.
That's my boy. I mean, just the confidence you have in yourself.
Yeah.
A guy that talented, runs 10.6 in the 100,
Yep.
6'2", big, tall, fast, and you give him all the knowledge to make sure he can perform opposite side
there
of
he
you,
is.
and Hallman loves it.
Yeah, and Hallman is giving up about 4 inches, so he had to jump really high.
Yeah, he did.
You know, to get to his shoulder pads.
What a play.
Yeah, indeed. Iacomelli is going to carry it. He's out to the 29.
We got to give one more look, right, Tim?
Absolutely.
We got to give it one more look. The guy hasn't played all game, comes in, and as soon as we mention him, one paw out there, the right, eyes on the ball, the left.
That's wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that.
beautiful.
He's got those high pockets, they say, right?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect for a cornerback at the next level. 6'2", 198. That's a lot to work with in the future. I loved it when we were talking with Coach Fickle, and you brought him up in our meeting. He said, how'd you know about him? My partner did his homework, Coach. Iacomelli
that was
gets out
funny.
to the 44.
Was that not funny?
Yeah, it was.
Hey,
It was
tell me
great fun.
about this Xavier Lucas. His face just crazy. He said, wait a minute. How do you know about Xavier? Hold on now, Coach Fickle. We do our homework here.
Speaking of homework, we did a little homework. You know, Jake Jolivet, our producer, said, okay, we're going to get your Mount Rushmore, Brando, and we're going to compare it with your younger and newer analyst and see how we match up, okay?
Let's see.
Given the fact that there are a few generations between us,
A few.
age-wise. So here's my Mount Rushmore. Okay, for the Badgers. Barry Alvarez, field's named after him. He created the program. Alan Amici in the 50s. He won the Heisman. Ron Dane won it. Joe Thomas, best offensive tackle, current NFL player for years with the Cleveland Browns. Devin,
Well, look
yours.
at us.
Yeah.
We got a lot of the same guys there. Joe Thomas, one of the best, maybe the best offensive tackle in the
I
history
think
of the NFL. And then I had to get J.J. Watt, a guy that comes in as a walk-on and becomes what he became. Oh, man.
J.J. Watt was a better pro than he was a collegian, I'm sorry.
He was. But he was an All-American. He's an All-American at Wisconsin, first team.
I'm with you. Well, we got it in, which makes the producer happy. That helps him with his report.
You know who's happy? That young fella right there.
What a fun game tonight. And, boy, big-time credit to that man, Lance Taylor, and his Western Michigan Broncos, because they played their guts out. They really did. And for them, the future is bright, even though they have to go to Ohio State on September the 7th. Josh Sims is standing by. We're going to hear from Luke Fickell when we come back. Stay right where you are. We'll wrap it up from Camp Randall.